Many people conflate veganism with social justice, and let me tell you, the two should not be associated. Whether you hear vegans saying that all meat eaters should die, similar to die cis scum, as many trans people would say, people in the LGBT social justice community, it doesn't matter what ideology you're following, you may have heard that, or vegans or feminists trying to put veganism into feminism or vice versa. And let me tell you, it's not based on any of that. Veganism is not predicated on leftist think, leftist ideology. It's just simply not.
I don't have a problem with the notion that veganism isn't predicated on leftist think or leftist ideology, but a high proportion of vegans do tend to lean to the left, so it's probably not unfair for people to associate veganism with the left. A higher proportion of atheists also seem to lean to the left, but these are just trends, not rules. There's nothing outrageous about being a right-leaning vegan who doesn't believe in God.
I think we could all agree that murder is wrong.
Yeah, of course.
And every year, billions upon billions upon billions of animals are slaughtered just for our taste pleasure.
Murder is a crime where a person kills another person without justification. Killing an animal for consumption isn't murder. And I wouldn't say we do it just for our taste pleasure either. We do it because that's what we've done since before we were even humans, around 2.5 million years ago. Animals are one of our natural food sources, so while it's true that we do like the taste of meat, we don't slaughter animals just for our taste pleasure, any more than lions hunt and kill prey for their taste pleasure. It's just what we do.
Now you may be saying,
but my bacon though,
or
but my protein though.
No. And maybe a tad condescending.
Well, bacon, though, doesn't constitute an argument. I hate to burst your bubble, but it just simply doesn't.
Has anyone really ever said, but bacon, and expected it to constitute an argument? Because if they have, maybe you should stop debating retards.
Lots of people, even, people that are anti-SJW or conservative or libertarian, a lot of them, you've seen this comment, well, logic goes out the window for bacon.
Even anti-SJWs, conservatives or libertarians. Are you suggesting that SJWs, liberals and authoritarians are the ones with the real weakness for bacon?
So, many people will admit it's not logical to slaughter animals.
Apparently there's around 7.3 million vegetarians in the United States alone. 7.3 million people is many people. And it is logical to slaughter animals because they're a lot more difficult to eat when they're alive.
And many people agree, unless you're a psychopath.
And he's off with his first moral ultimatum, which totally doesn't make you sound like a massive SJW. Unless you're a racist, you'll agree that... Unless you're a misogynist, you'll agree that... Anyway, you were saying unless I'm a psychopath.
Unless you're a psychopath, many people agree that what goes on in factory farms is absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I do agree, it's heartbreaking. You didn't need to shame me into that answer.
But they still continue to do it. Today I'm here to paint a picture for you that veganism is not about moral superiority, but they still continue to do it. I'm not trying to feel morally above you, but they still continue to do it. And laugh down at you, but they still continue to do it. And look down at you and scold you for not being vegan. I'm simply trying to bring to your attention that what you partake in is a barbaric tradition. People say, oh, well, we've been eating meat and animal products for so long. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Well, that could be used to justify anything. Well, we've been doing X for so long, so that means it's justified. Rape, murder, that's justified.
Yeah, it's not really the same though, is it? In that rape and murder haven't been a vital part of our diet for 2.5 million years.
Humans are vastly superior to animals. I get that. Moral agency, abstract thought, abstract reasoning, all the stuff, we are superior to animals in many, many ways.
You know what the main way is? We've got bigger brains and therefore more brain power than most animals. But big brains use lots of energy. Did you know that the human brain uses about 20% of your body's energy at rest? At least double that of most other animals. And do you know how we've been getting that energy for the last 2.5 million years? By eating other animals.
But that still does not justify us unnecessarily slaughtering them for their flesh.
Yes, it does, because if we'd never taken up that habit, you wouldn't be sitting here making this YouTube video. It's more than likely you'd be some hairy-looking ape motherfucker sitting there in the wild eating fruit and sticks and leaves for 9 hours a day just to get enough energy to power your tiny fucking brain.
And to quickly debunk the whole protein thing, many people think, oh well, it's third world protein from plants. You can't get enough protein on a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet even. Well, if you'd actually just take the time to look up and research protein in plants, you would find that all whole plant foods contain protein, and some, if you're worried about the protein, some are significantly higher in protein than others, being nuts, seeds, beans, lentils, broccoli, collard greens. So if you're worried about protein, just look to those foods.
Or I could just keep looking to meat.
You may have heard it before, but I gotta say it. Not all vegans. Not all vegans are social justice warriors, militant assholes. They're not. Veganism is simply based on logic and reasoning, moral and rationale. It's not based on me being better than you.
Am I saying that I'm better than you?
I don't care about being better than you.
Yeah, I'm fucking better than you.
I just simply urge you to stop partaking in barbaric tradition. I want to paint this picture that it is not about casting judgment on you and making you seem like you're the most horrible person in the world, because most vegans, like myself, ate meat, ate animal products as well. But to just sit back and say bacon though, and say all this other nonsense,
Seriously, who are these people sitting back and saying bacon and all this other nonsense?
is just completely asinine. A huge key to veganism compared to social justice movements is that a lot of these social justice movements, as most of you probably know, say that
we are being oppressed. We are being oppressed. You're the oppressor. The white, straight, cisgender male is the oppressor. And Islam is being oppressed. And blacks are being oppressed. And women are being oppressed. And gays are being oppressed.
and all this stuff. Well, if you live in America, yeah, obviously there are isolated incidences of oppression. But institutionally, society as a whole is not oppressing you. The difference is animals are actually being held down, being murdered,
They're not being murdered.
slaughtered for food, which is completely unnecessary.
Says you, and who the fuck are you to tell anyone else that it's unnecessary for them to eat the food that their ancestors have been eating for thousands of generations?
So when you try to paint the picture, when you try to conflate veganism and social justice warriors think, oh, we're being oppressed. And vegans say, oh, animals are being oppressed.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would wish you'd both shut up. Look, I think there's some horrendously cruel practices in place at some of these factory farms. I'm all for demanding drastic industry reforms, even if it means a drastic price increase for the end consumer. But I don't think you're going to get anywhere by demanding people give up meat and poultry altogether. It's just not going to happen.
Well, the difference is animals are actually dying by the billions every single year. Society as a whole is actually murdering billions of animals every single year.
No, we're not. We're slaughtering billions of animals every single year. Learn the definition of murder.
Whether it be directly or indirectly, most of it being indirect, where you pay other people to do the dirty work for you. Veganism is not about moral superiority. I'm not trying to feel morally above you and laugh down at you and look down at you and scold you for not being vegan. Bringing up the subject of veganism, it's not about virtue signaling. Lots of people think that vegans just virtue signal and they're like, oh, I'm vegan, I'm better than you. I don't care about touting my moral superiority. I don't have a moral superiority over you.
Why do you keep saying that? It's weird.
This is not about virtue signaling. This is simply about bringing a serious topic into the discussion, thinking through it logically, rationally. Many vegans can't be logical. Many can't be rational. They're just irrational nitwits who want to cast judgment upon you and tell you to die. I'm not here to tell you that. I'm here to help you think logically and consistently.
We're more than capable of thinking logically and consistently. Anyway, didn't you just tell us that many vegans are irrational nitwits? But here you are to help us think logically and consistently. I'm starting to get the impression that you think we're all retards.
Consistent logic. Many people throw the logic out the window because bacon tastes so good.
Bacon-crazed retards.
Because bacon tastes so good.
I think he might actually be spastic.
Killing is immoral. You cannot look at the other side and say, oh, well, they're being immoral, and not say that what you're doing isn't immoral as well.
It's not immoral when a spider kills a fly, or when a bird kills a worm, or when a cat kills a bird. And it's not immoral when people kill a chicken or a cow, as long as we're not complete cunts about it.
Now, if that triggers you and you're in the anti-social justice camp, the anti-social justice school of thought, well then, maybe you should reconsider your position.
Reconsider my position on the anti-social justice camp or eating animals.
Because a lot of people's reactions to veganism are kind of social justice warrior-esque. They get triggered and they can't bear to see animal slaughter footage, and it just, obviously you shouldn't want to. It's terrible, it's barbaric, but you turn a blind eye to it, but you still consume it. You still pay other people to do it. So please, I desperately urge you to just think logically about this.
And I emphatically assure you again, I think logically about everything.
Humans are superior to animals in basically every way, all right? We are vastly superior. I'm not denying that. I am superior to the animals that other people eat. You are superior to the animals that you eat, but that doesn't mean you should eat them.
We're superior because we fucking ate them.
After watching this video today, I don't want you to necessarily go vegan. I don't need you to go vegan. I don't need you to conform to my diet.
That's pretty fucking lucky, isn't it?
I'll admit that I would like, one of my big intentions with this video is to help other people who aren't vegan just see veganism, see vegans in a different light. Obviously, there's lots of radical, crazy vegans out there who point the finger at you and say, you deserve to die, things of the sort. But if we can be calm, if we can be rational, and just further the discussion in a simple, logical way, people from both sides, vegetarians, meat eaters, vegans, we can all at least agree on something simple, consistent logic.
If we're calm, rational, and logical, we can agree with lots of crazy people who want us to die on simple, consistent logic. Mate, if we're calm, rational, and logical, then we don't go hanging around with crazy fucking people who want us to die. For fuck's sake.
And let's make veganism great.